Hello, hello. What's going on, everyone? Welcome into Connected by Seams podcast, episode 1. Seth Smith alongside Danny Espinoza, Garrett Smith. Here we are, fellas. First episode. How you guys doing? How was your week? How's everything going on your end?
It was good. It was good. Had a great weekend. Had a great week, and was excited to get that first episode done, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, right up there with you. Weekend was good. Some good weather, and week's off to a good start. But
how's your mountain bike trip?
The mountain bike went a little. It was great, but there's one little spill that decided to go into WWE mode, head over heels, flat on my back. But
there's video evidence. We saw it.
Yeah, little side note to the ride, but it was all right.
Still a good weekend.
Yeah, it was still good.
You're here for the next ride. You're ready to go. Danny,
Absolutely.
you're not out of the woods either. I saw your leg. How's that thing doing?
Oh, it's good. I just got checked by the handlebars and
just come out of nowhere.
It happens.
Man. It's like they're never there. But yeah, I hit the brakes a little too hard going downhill and ran into. I don't know what I hit, but must have hit the side or something, and crushed my knee.
Gee, have you switched to the clip-ins yet?
Not yet, and this was evidence of why I haven't yet.
Yeah, we were talking, Danny and I pre-show, because he only took 2 rides until he was just committed to it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I used to use them all the time growing up, doing all my BMX days and everything. So
you're committed, man.
I'm not a rookie with it, but it's been a minute since I've used them, and I just want to get more acquainted with the bike again. And
Well, I think if I could do it, I'm pretty sure you can do it. Because
I know I can do it.
I just went for it.
Yeah, I would be a lot more timid on the trails once I'm clipped in for sure. But
they loosen the clip in for me so I can just pull, I can clip out real quick.
Yeah.
But I'm sure I'll take a slide with the bike here soon.
Hey, that's fun. That's what you sign up for. That's the fun stuff.
Yeah, it's good.
That's what makes stories.
Yep.
Exactly.
Well, speaking of which, we have a story of our own to tell, and that is our first guest, our first interview dropping. Like Danny said, so much fun getting to know Brandon Laird. Local boy, we all kind of knew him. Danny, obviously, you guys winning a gold medal, etc. together. But man, that was a heck of a first interview. I'm sure you guys can agree with that.
Yeah, definitely. I was pretty shocked at how smooth it went, how well it came together. Obviously, it makes it nice to interview somebody that is used to doing the interviews. And I don't know. I was pretty surprised that it went that well, and the questions and the answers seemed to flow in pretty easy.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. I felt a lot better about going forward with this idea after that interview, and it's almost like one of those things where I wish it wouldn't have gone so smooth. We can do this. But it was a great interview and got to learn a lot of cool things, and I really was surprised at some of the notes he was making on playing over there, and in the changes and differences between the games, the U.S. way of life for baseball, and the money aspect. Like when he mentioned that his minor league career and in total he was making
one
more
contract
in one contract over there, which was.
Oh, by far. I mean, but he's making big money over there.
I don't doubt
really
that.
Well.
Yeah.
And I think people, when they look at Japan, they look at the Korea, they don't realize how much money they do pay to go play over there. I mean, that's a very good competitive league. It's just not followed well in the United States, which is unfortunate because you miss out on a different style of baseball and a lot of good talent.
Well, that's what's so cool about KBO playing right now. And that's what's so cool that we were able to chat with him and him on, outside of the States, and just that different perspective. And I mean, KBO there's people who gravitated towards it. You know what I mean? It's fun. Yeah. It's cool. And things like that. But Yeah, it was pretty neat. I mean, shoot, like you said, it went smooth, and just for him to say yes to doing an interview 16 hours apart. I mean,
Right.
it
The
was
day
it was
before he
it was
goes
easy to
into
set
camp,
up. You know
and
what I mean? It was
Right.
easy from the beginning, and we don't want to spoil too much, but man, that
No,
was
but I mean, it was just crazy. Just, I mean, outside of the baseball stuff, which for me, I've heard some of the adjustments you made, but I had no idea with the life adjustments and stuff that, he was just used to having just, the bare minimums sometimes of just, they don't have maybe just the stuff that he's used to. So having to
yeah,
bring a suitcase of the stuff that he wants,
yeah,
just
yeah,
to go about a normal day. I was shocked.
complete lifestyle change. Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy. All right, well, without further ado, we'll play the interview with Brandon Laird from Japan. Enjoy. All right, welcome into another episode of Connected by Seams podcast. Once again, Seth Smith alongside Danny Espinoza, Garrett Smith. We welcome today's guest joining us all the way from Japan, Brandon Laird. Brandon, thanks for taking the time, joining the show, man. How you doing?
Good, man. How you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you got it. Hey,
Doing good.
yes, sir.
16 hours can't stop everyone, right? We thank you for joining us.
Nope.
What time is it there?
It's 10:30 in the morning
10:30.
on,
It's looking nice.
on
Oof.
Sunday. Yep.
There you go. Sweet, man.
Nice.
Well, cool. A little bit about you. I mean, you played 3 major league seasons, highly touted prospect coming up, 13 years total now professional. Obviously, baseball running strong in your family. Older brother Gerald also playing in the big leagues. But before all that, let's kind of get going in the journey of the early days. You went to La Quinta High School, powerhouse, get drafted, turn it down, elect to go to Cypress Junior College, play for legendary Scott Pickler.
Yeah.
Just kind of briefly tell us about that. You also played with our boy Danny
Yeah,
in
sure.
Taiwan, I believe, Team USA. That was also during high school. Just kind of if you want to get into those early days.
Yeah. I mean, I just grew up in a baseball family, man. My dad played, and never professional, but I heard stories. My grandpa, he said he was a good second baseman. My grandfather played. Tried out for the Brooklyn Dodgers back in the day, and his first cousin is Hall of Famer Bobby Doerr. So,
Yep.
I mean, we just brought up in the baseball family, and just always, I was a little brother, always wanted to follow big brother footsteps. So, any chance I got at the Little League field, I had a bat and ball. I was telling somebody to pitch to me, like.
And you always found a pitcher, I'm sure, right?
Always, man. Like, that's the story my brothers and friends say. They're like, Brandon always had a bat and ball and was always had. I didn't even know the person. I'm like, hey, pitch to me. Yeah, and then went over to La Quinta. My brother. I was supposed to go to Rancho High School because that's where house is right there, and my brother transferred over to La Quinta after a couple of years playing at Rancho and for Dave Demers, and then I just followed in the footsteps and decided I'm going there, and had 4 good seasons there, and like you said, I got drafted by the Indians. At that time my brother was up in the big leagues, and he just was giving me advice saying I've been through the minors, I've been through the grind, and you're like young and immature, and do me a favor, like don't sign, like it's just you're not ready.
Yeah, you're lucky you had that guidance. Not a lot of people have that.
Yeah, exactly. And I was the high school kid saying, no, I want to play pro ball. And he's like, dude, trust me, like I know you will, but like I've been through it, man. It's not as easy as you think, and I'm just looking out for you. So I think he's like, I think you'll be good if you went to Cyprus for a year, even 2, and got older, mature, got bigger, stronger, and I decided to do that. And I had a good year at Cyprus my freshman year, and I was on the draft and follow when that was the time, and so no other team could talk to me, and I feel like it kind of screwed me a little bit because no team talked to me, and then the Indians ended up not wanting to sign me, offer me what I want. So I had to go back for another season, and luckily the Yankees just took a chance on me, and so.
Yeah, great organization to be drafted by, and for people that don't understand what he's talking about when his brother says, "Hey, go to college for a year or 2." I mean, going to junior college doesn't matter. That experience, rather than playing at noon in the Florida State League with a bunch of 18-year-old kids.
Sure.
that gets old. I don't care what, oh, you're getting paid to play. Yeah, you're getting paid $1,000 a month to play at noon.
Well, shoot, we got the OEC repping well. Three guys from that conference: Garrett, OCC, you Cypress. I went to Santa Ana. I mean, you went to college, but the D1, you know what I mean? College was huge for all of us. If I had to say,
I remembered Santa Ana. My mind was set on Cypress because obviously my brother went there.
Yeah.
And I went and took a visit at Santa Ana. What was his name? Don Sneddon.
Yeah. Yes, he's the man.
He showed me around and everything. He was like so set on like, Brandon, Laird's coming here and this and that. Like I kind of gave him hope that I might go there, and I knew in my head like I wasn't even gonna go there, and I felt so bad. And
we don't have to tell you.
You had to follow footsteps. Right. Yeah.
But no, I mean, let's dive into JUCO. You went to Cypress and not only had success, but I mean, you rank in the top all-time career bases at number 1, second in games played, RBIs, all of that. I mean, you didn't just go there. You went there and had success. You talk about Gerald guiding you, but you got to put in the work. And if you want to just kind of dive into junior college in general and just your Cypress days.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've always been like a good hitter. Like, that's been always my strong point. I just feel like it was always my body and, my defense and stuff. That's what I had to improve on a lot.
So it was to go there and with a mission of this is what I'm working on, this is what I'm getting better, and I'm getting out.
Yeah, I mean, I knew my bat was always going to be there. It's just like, all the teams were always saying like, oh, where are you going to play? You don't have enough speed. You're too slow for third and stuff like that. So that's what I wanted to focus on. And I mean, it's Cypress. I mean, it's JUCO. I mean, I played third, first. I mean, I even pitched, but I just always told myself, if I hit, they're going to find a place for me.
Very true.
And then at that time, my first, our pitching coach was Dave Keith. He's out with the Yankees now.
Yeah.
I remember Coach Keith.
He's the best.
Yeah. Oh, dude, man, dude. And he always would tell me, like, Laird, man, you can hit, man. You belong D1 and, this and that. And that was my freshman year. And then the next year, he ended up being a scout with the Yankees. And he always liked me. And, I had a good season as the draft was going on. And, my name wasn't being called. He called me. He's like, dude, I mean, I'm telling the Yankees, like, to take you in the next couple rounds. Like, we signed. I'm like, dude, the draft's in the 20-something round now. I just want to get drafted.
Yeah.
Summer school. I was in summer class because I was like, I might have to go to Arizona State. And then he called me and they're like, hey, the Yankees drafted you. And, this is what they want to offer you. You want to sign?
You ran out of class.
I literally stood up. I'm like, I'm out of here. I literally got drafted. I think I got drafted on like a Monday or Tuesday. I was gone Thursday.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Time.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Going to JUCO and betting on yourself like that, like how much did you playing for Coach Pickler? Like how much did that help you as opposed? I mean, your brother kind of guided you in that direction, but how much did that experience and knowledge that you gained from going there?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like going there helped me a lot. Like I'm looking back, I wouldn't have did it any other way,
Mm-hmm.
Just, even talking to my brother, he's like, you sign out of high school. He's like, you never really play with wood bats. He goes, you go have a bad season your first couple of years. What are you going to do? He's like, go to JUCO, play 1 or 2 more years with a metal bat in front of stand and scouts and stuff like that. But I mean, I just think, it's a good conference. I mean, you play against a lot of good talent. I definitely think it, helped my game a lot for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And then the second go around, you mentioned the Yankees call your phone again in the 27th. How was it different this time, being a little bit older? You talk about your reaction, but when you find out, is it a little bit different the second time around?
Getting drafted?
Yeah.
In high school, it was cool, obviously getting drafted by the Indians out of high school and everything, but, it's just, I think the second time I was just as excited. I mean, it's just, you're getting a chance.
No matter what, the excitement's still there.
It's like what you played for your entire life. Once you start getting in, to a competitive like travel ball, and then you get to high school and JUCO, like that's what you're playing for, if that's what you're trying to do. And
the realization of getting drafted and stuff starts to become true. Like,
exactly.
There's there's a real chance now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the start of the dream.
And honestly, going in the 27th round, usually you don't get a lot of money. I mean, I got a decent amount of money for that round.
Yeah.
And so it kind of like show that they invested in me a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I knew I wasn't like, you know, the top 5, you know, the first, second rounders. That you're going to probably get more opportunity, but I just wanted the opportunity, man. That's just to go play and show what I can do, you know, with my bat. And my first year in Gulf Coast rookie ball, I think I hit like 339 with like 8 homers, and I think that like put me on the map right there with the Yankees. So
It's doing all right.
It's a huge year.
I mean, that's a great segue into, you know, the next step in minor leagues and that success early on. And then you go to the Eastern League and you were player of the year, rookie of the year, anything you could be with Trenton. And then you make your debut at a place, Yankee Stadium, I think some people have heard of. If you want to just kind of talk about that day, maybe not just that day in general, but just kind of the process and it coming to fruition, walking out at Yankee Stadium, 2011 in your debut.
Sure. I remember that year too, because that was the year A-Rod went down a couple of times, and like I didn't get called up, and I was doing pretty well, and they called up Romero Pena, and I was kind of all pissed. We were in Toledo, Ohio, I remember. I was all pissed. Like,
It's amazing how those memories come back.
Not
so
sore at all.
no. Because you know, when you're in the minors, and like you're in the clubhouse, and everybody's like, "Oh, dude, A-Rod's went down, dude. Like somebody's going up." Yeah, so I start thinking like, "Oh, is it me? Is it me?" And then you know, Romero Pena went up and everything like that. And then like literally like 4 days later, he went down with like he got hurt somehow. And we were going to on a bus ride to Columbus. We got in like at 5 a.m. or something like that. It was like a 10-hour bus ride, and I get to my room, I'm passed out, my phone's vibrating. I'm like, probably my mom or something. I'm like, I'm not answering. I just happened to glance and like number. I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, hello? And it's our manager. He's like, Lairdo, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm sleeping. We just got here. He's like, get up and pack. You're going to the big leagues. I'm like, oh shit! Like, I freaking got all my slacks out. My, you know, because at that time you never know if you're gonna go up, so you always have to have like a suit or like
yeah, emergency.
Yeah, I started ironing right there and called my dad. My dad's at work and he's like, "What's up?" I'm like, "Hey, I just got called up to the big leagues," and you know he was all ecstatic. He's like, "I'm off. I'm going home having a beer." Like,
yeah. I'm sure that one takes an extra
work, but I'm off now. But then
that's awesome.
Just the whole like build up to like getting there, you know, like packing the bag, get in there, and then going to the field, packing your bags and all like that. And then it took forever though, man, because I had a layover in Detroit, and we're about to take off, and a huge storm rolls through, so we had to sit on the tarmac for 2 hours.
Oh,
so it's like, you know, the anxiety.
Only fitting.
Just
giving you too much time to think about it.
Yeah, like I'm sitting on the plane, like, damn, I want to get there already, because the team was when I was flying to Tampa.
Okay.
Wow.
And then I get there in like the 6th inning, the big game's already going on. I'm like in the clubhouse throwing all my shit on. I walk in the dugout, everybody's like, hey, congratulations, you know, this and that. And like right when I sit down, dude, it was Andrew Jones throws me the fucking like catcher's glove, and he's like, go warm up the pitcher. And I'm like, what? Russell Martin was already ready, so he like ran out there. But then he got me again. He's like, go warm up the pitcher in like the 9th inning. I'm like, what? Who is it? Freaking Mariano. I'm out there with like no gear on. I'm like barely tossing it back to him.
Your first day in the big leagues, you caught Mariano Rivera in the 9th inning.
Yeah, he threw me the catcher's glove in the 9th. He's like, because Russell Martin like just got out, and he had to put his gear on.
Oh
my god!
I was like not even stretched or anything. I'm like, oh, it's Mariano. And then he saw me like down there, like kneeling down. He laughed. He just like threw a fastball. But
oh my!
Is that like a typical rookie haze kind of thing that they do, or?
I mean, they do different things, but I mean, I wasn't expecting.
Oh, that's hilarious! Yeah, no, for sure.
I was like so shaky.
Yeah. Oh, that's
fun.
That is
hell
awesome.
Yeah! You think? Oh, that's a good story. I don't think I've heard that.
Going back literally the next day, my whole family's there and everything like that, and we go shopping at the mall. We're staying at the mall. I'm thinking I'm the big time, you know, I'm in the big leagues, and I read the schedule wrong. So I go to get on the bus. I thought I got on the early bus, but I got on the late bus.
Oh, no.
I'm waiting on the bus, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, nobody's coming? Like, I'm the first one. And Mariano walks on, sits in the front seat, and then the bus starts going. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, just me and Mariano get to the field.
Where's the camera? Like, what's going on?
There, like, My locker was right in the middle of Jeter and Andrew Jones, and everybody's there. I'm like, what the hell? So then the
Holy
sheriff
cow.
gives me
Terrible feeling.
oh, my heart.
Oh yeah, stomach drop.
I get in there and they're like, hey, third base coach wants to see you in the office. I'm like, all right. So I'm walking, and everybody, the whole clubhouse starts following me. I'm like, what the heck's going on? And then he's like, what's up, Laird? I'm like, what's up, Tom? He's like, it's a nice outfit. You just get that today? I'm like, oh, yeah, I did. And he's like, that's big league. I'm like, oh, thanks. And he's like, you know who that is? I'm like, yeah, it's Jeter. He's like, Hall of Famer? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you know who that is? I'm like, yeah. It's A-Rod. Hall of Famer? I'm like, probably, yeah. He's like, yeah, they've been here since, noon. Where the fuck you been? I'm like, he's like, this is the big leagues, kid. Don't ever freaking get on that late bus again. I was like,
Oh my.
I was like, oh, dude. The next day I was in a taxi at like 10 in the morning.
Hey, if you're gonna be
I was like knocking, like, let me in.
if you're gonna be Mariano's personal catcher, you have to ride the bus with him. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
dude,
you gotta get to know him.
Sitting in the back, all the way in the back. Like, what's going on, dude?
Oh, that's great.
I was like, what the hell are you doing?
Oh, that's
man.
right.
Dude, you've been name dropping. Speaking of which, can you name, fun fact, who you had your first hit and RBI against? It came in one play. Do you remember the pitcher?
Yeah. Was it? It was the lefty, Craig Breslow.
Yeah, it was. That a boy.
Oh, Breslow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
First bat was against Joey Devine, and the first ball went like behind me.
Oh.
He had the yips. I walked, and then the next at bat, I was like, I'm swinging, dude. I'm swinging. Luckily, he did me a huge base hit.
Yeah, base hit the center. That a boy.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Nice.
Very nice.
All right, so we paused the interview right there with Brandon Laird. Boy, what a ride from his high school days dominating all the way to reaching the big leagues. I know us three, we were all very intrigued. Plenty of questions, discussion throughout the interview, especially in the early parts here. But for me, what really stood out is, I mean, how about his brother Gerald, who is playing pro ball, not only, doing it, but doing it well, having success and still having the mindset and just kind of awareness to look out for his brother and recognize, yeah, I know you can go play pro ball, but you don't need to do it right now. You know what I mean? That to me is just something you can't really replace that or get that from many other places. Sure, your high school coach can tell you this, that, but this is your brother. This is the guy you've looked up to him. And I thought it was pretty cool, his brother, doing that for him and Brandon listening and kind of appreciating what his brother says. And I mean, took it, went to college and the rest is history, So for me, that really stood out. I don't know if you guys want to go around, maybe talk about what stood out for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, that was big for me too, because not everyone, very little percentage of baseball when you're coming out of high school or college can sit there. You can call someone, a sibling, and say, hey, what's your experience? What's your thoughts? And for him, his brother already in the big leagues, to say, hey, wait, go to college, get some strength on, develop your game a little bit more. Because like I said in the interview, I mean, you're going to play a noon game in Florida heat in 110-degree weather every day, and you're going to do early work before the game.
7 people there.
Yeah, 7 people if you're lucky. 7 people include the umpires and someone's mom, or dad sitting in the stand. I mean, come on, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
And for him to go to college, the guy could always hit. From when we were young, he could always hit. Very good hitter. But for him to go to college and develop his strength, he probably grew a little bit, was able to refine his hitting even more to see more velocity before he went into pro ball. I'm sure that helped his game a lot, because he ended up going to A-ball, high A, double A, having an unbelievable year, triple A, the big leagues. I mean, he had a really good road, not to say that nothing was handed to him. He was a late round pick they said, go out and prove that you should be here. And he did it.
Yeah, he took a big bet on himself and it paid off in the end. And like you guys have been mentioning, not a lot of people are as privileged and lucky to have that call out from a relative or a close friend or anyone like that to get themselves in that position. But I mean, for me, not not too many people also get up to the big leagues, and within, the first 20, 30 minutes of being in the big leagues, you're out catching Mariano and warming him up in a game. So, I mean, how many people get to actually make that claim?
Unbelievable.
Not many.
Not many at all.
And what was going through his head at the time,
Right. Like I couldn't imagine all that anxiety, all that buildup, and then you get out there and then that's a different kind of pressure that he's not even prepared for, and in an uncomfortable position, and goes out there and handles it like a champ. And I think that's character building for sure.
Yeah, he probably would have been more comfortable going to taking that bat off Mariano.
Oh, yeah. This is the big leagues. You literally throw a mask over your hat and go behind the plate. You're not
you
suiting up back
catch
there.
this ball that's going
to catch the best cutter.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know where that's cutting out. Like, oh man, that's great. I would love to do that, something like that. But,
that's a heck of a story, man. I had no clue that. That's a good point, G. I had no idea that. I've never heard that anyone, getting punked like that. That's pretty good hazing right there. You know what I mean? Even if it wasn't Mariano, like, just to have to go out there and, unexpectedly, yeah.
No, I mean, usually you got your other catcher in the dugout, but you never know, the backup catcher or the catcher who is getting a day off at the time. He might have been going to the bathroom, whatever. There's a million reasons why he wasn't there right at the time. Double play could have ended their inning early.
Yeah.
And instead of a coach doing it or somebody that has probably caught a little bit, they're like, yeah, Brandon, just head on out there. Good luck.
What a veteran move by Andrew Jones, though.
Oh.
What I mean? Like, looking out and he's like, yeah, we're doing this.
Didn't even probably think.
No hesitation.
Like, no hesitation. Yeah.
He smelt the blood in the water. How about, dude, the name drop on that roster 2011? A-Rod, his locker between Jeter and Andrew Jones. Like, if you don't learn a thing about being a professional, then, I mean, I don't know if you have any better examples right there. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, if there's that story he told about being late too.
Yeah.
Getting called in the office. I mean, that's.
Yeah.
I would have been so scared. First of all, if they told me to come back in the office after my first day, I'm like, they're sending me right back down. This is terrible.
That's what I thought he was going to say, something along those lines.
And, for him to be on the second bunch, which is a huge no-no, on my team coming up, when you were a rookie, you weren't allowed on the first bus. You took you had to take a taxi before the first bus.
Yeah.
So it was like the fact that he took the second one on accident because of the game time and everything. And he gets on the bus, and it's only him and Mariano. That's Mariano's.
That's Mariano's bus.
Chauffeur.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm surprised he didn't spike one.
So he had some good stories, but you said the roster that he came up with.
Yeah.
All-star Hall of Fame roster. I mean, come on. It doesn't get any better than that.
Crazy. Yeah, pretty cool stuff, and he's not done yet. We'll get back to the rest of the interview, but Brandon just kind of touches on when he starts his career in Japan, and we'll let you listen to the rest. All right, so your journey, Brandon, kind of takes you from playing in the States, and now you've continued your professional career now playing in Japan with the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. I hope I'm saying that properly.
Yeah, that's right.
But you sign with them, begin your Japanese professional career. Just early on, what did you notice right away, other than maybe like language, stuff like that, but like playing wise or just adapting wise, right away, what did you notice was going to be a difference?
Playing wise, man. I mean, when I first signed over here, man, I mean, I just the way the style of the play, it's just small ball, a lot of bunting. Like, first batter gets on our 3-hole hitters, like button them over. I'm like, what are we doing, dude? Like, it's just stuff like that. Yeah, we still do it. It's like stuff you got to get used to, and I was just getting breaking ball to death, man. Like 3-0, 3-2, stuff like. And then like outside the field, I feel like the biggest thing was, like you said, the language barrier. But I mean, my whole process was just coming over here and like, I wanted to just adapt, like embrace the culture and like just take advantage of the opportunity, And I've always been like that. Like, I'm always like, we go on the road, like I go out and about, just look around, stuff like
Get
that.
away.
I feel like that's by doing that my first year, really helped me settle in over here in Japan, a lot faster and easier.
When you're out and about, is it obvious, and do people know that you're a baseball player, that you're there for that?
Yeah, for sure. Baseball is huge over here. Like they say, like sumo wrestlers at the top, sumo at the top, and then baseball. But they take their baseball serious, and they love their teams, man. Like especially like Hokkaido, because they're up north first, and they're on their own island, so like they only have fighters, Yeah. So like we would take a drive on an off day, like go up the coast, like a little town 3 hours, 2 hours away, and if somebody saw me, like, oh, Lealdo. They definitely know that they know their players, man. And
That's so cool.
Here in Chiba, it's a little different kind of style of living. It's more like living at home, the city and everything. But we're close to, and Tokyo is really close, and you got the Giants, you got all these teams. But I still get noticed, walking around here, but it's not as much as up there in Hokkaido.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Know what?
Cool.
Now, tell people, I think when people think that you're not in the big leagues, that they just dismiss other leagues. They don't understand, how hard it is to still get to Japan, to get to a Korea. And people don't understand, how do you get there? Everyone thinks that, it's only, those Japanese are playing there, only Koreans are playing there. Yeah. Try to explain a little bit of that journey as far as, how you got there. And because you were with us, you were with Washington. You just come off a year, hit three something with 20 something home runs, a bunch of RBIs, and didn't get to the big leagues that year. And then he's in Japan, and now for the people that don't know, he's had a very good 5 or 6 year career over there. That's it's a life-changing career over there.
Yeah, definitely I revived my career, man. Like you said, my last year I was with the Nationals, had a good year, and it came about because my brother would always say, like, dude, you should try to get over to Japan. Tell your Keith, try to get you to Japan. So I would tell Keith, I brought it up to Keith one time. He's like, yeah, that's an option and this and that. And happened to be the fighter scout was in Syracuse watching, but he wasn't even there looking at me. He was there looking at I can't think of his name. Some big righty we had, Brock. Remember that guy, Brock? Can't think of his name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
But he hit homers, he had a lot of power, and he was there actually watching him. And Beasley at the time knew the scout, and for some reason I was walking in the clubhouse, and he called me over, and he's like, "Hey, this is Matt Winters. He's a scout with the fighters in Japan." And then Beasley's like, "You think you could hit over there?" I'm like, "I hit everywhere. I hit anywhere."
Yeah. Exactly what kind of question's that?
Exactly what I said. And the scout Matt was like, "You know what? I like that answer. I like that confidence." And then, literally a week later, my agent called and he's like, "Hey, a team in Japan's interested in you." I'm like, "Oh shit!" So he's like, "But for next year." I'm like, "Okay." So like you said, I had a good season and didn't get called up, and I was a little bitter, but
understandable. Very understandable.
At that point, I was just like, you know what? I'm tired of what do I have to do, man? I don't have to prove anything anymore. I put up numbers. I don't get the opportunity. So, in the offseason, we went home, and my agent was like, "Hey, they're serious. They want to get the deal done pretty quick. This is what they're offering." And that the money was better than anything, more money I made in my entire career in the minors. And me and my wife, sat down. We're like, let's just take a chance. Why not? What do we have to lose? We go over there, you don't do well, we're right back in the same situation,
Yeah.
So,
isn't that such a baseball story where the scout's there for another guy and you're the right guy in the right place where something happens, and that's with most sports, but
before I went to the Nationals, I was in camp with Kansas City. In the offseason, they called me like, "Oh, you're going to be competing with Moustakis. Just you two." And then a week later, they signed Danny Valencia, and then they signed this guy. And then next thing you know, I get 8 at bats, and they send me down. They're like, "Oh, thank you." So I remember in the meeting, me and Ned Yost got into it a little bit. And after I walked out, and my agent was like, "Dude, what'd you say to Ned?" I'm like, I didn't. It wasn't disrespectful. I was just telling him "Dude, I'm not impressed with the numbers, the guys you're showing me, all this and that." And literally, 2 days later, I go to minor league camp, and they're like, "Don't get changed." I'm like, "All right." And they're like, "We traded you to the Nationals." I'm like, "All right."
Yeah,
looking back, dude, I'm happy I made the decision to come over here.
Heck yeah, you've gone to Japan. You've had an unbelievable career in Japan now. You've made a lot of money. I mean, life-changing money. Been able, shit, you're set now. You know what I mean? I mean, you've been able to – I don't care what people say about, obviously the goal is to be in the big leagues for as long as you can, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But at the end of the day, you got to take care of your family, and that's what you did. You went over there, and to go over there, it's got to be a tough adjustment, through your whole life, not just baseball adjustment, not the way how they play, but a life of adjustment. And you went over there, you succeeded, and now you've turned – that success into a great career in Japan.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it got to the point where, like you said, everybody wants to play in the big leagues and get 10 years and get the pension. But, I was getting up in age. I signed over here. I was 2015, my first year. I was 27. I was like, maybe how many more times can I do like a September call up? I mean, the money's good, but it's not like the greatest.
Right.
And I was like, how many more can I do these bus rides and these hotels? And I mean, I got to the point where I'm like, dude, like you said, I got to start. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be playing. I got to try to make as much money as I can. It's not about service time anymore,
No.
It's about money and providing for my family. And that's exactly, you're exactly right about that, man. And coming over here, I mean, you can come over here, like you said, I've done well, and you can make your own pension over here.
100%.
So
100%.
Well, your successes have been talked about. We'll dive into them. You mentioned the style of play is bunting. How does someone hit 30 plus dingers in a league that, you got to sacrifice bunt? I think it was 2016. You led the Pacific League 39 home runs, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, that's going there and having success. Just kind of what kind of helped with that, I guess.
Dude, my first year was like,
slow.
I thought I was done. My career was over. Like at the All-Star break, I was hitting 145 with my home runs were there.
Oh, wow.
15 homers and 45 ribbies, but my average was I didn't think I was going to hit above 200.
Wow.
I've struggled, but not that bad. I'm I didn't know what was going on, man. I was swinging at everything. I just couldn't adjust to the pitching, so and then another thing it was bothering me, the whole, the way they play, bunting, squeeze, this and that. And I would come home every night and vent to my wife, dude, what are we doing? And she finally was like, dude, I'm tired of you venting. I'm tired of hearing it. Just do you, worry about you, control what you can control. And I feel like you're going to have a lot better time. You're going to play better. You're going to have a better mindset. And honestly, that helped me. I just stopped worrying about all the shit they were doing and just focused on me and what I can do and how my hitting, I know I could hit. And then it all happened at the All-Star break. My coach took me to dinner. This is where the sushi came about. And I went to a sushi restaurant, and the chef was like, dude, I know you're a good hitter. I believe in you. This is going to be your good luck meal. Change your luck for the second half. And after that dinner, man, the second half, that's when I went off and I ended up hitting 34 home runs my first year. And I think I ended at 234, but that was a huge, I already had, 300 at bats.
Yeah.
That's a big jump for sure. Yeah.
And then, but that was the night he was like, hey, tomorrow, if you hit a home run around third base, you got to do this sushi you made sushi. I'm like, all right. So I hit a home run the next day, and that's how it
So Sushi Boy.
Embrace the moment. I love it.
Yeah. Sushi Boy is that is a legit. That is what you're known as, Sushi Boy. You joined the Zoom call and it was Sushi Boy. So obviously.
But yeah, my first year, I give a lot of I have a lot of respect for my manager that year because you hear some horror stories about coming over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no way that's
not
normal.
that bad. Go home.
Yeah.
I mean, it still happens. You see good players come over here and they play with the certain team, and sometimes they're just not with the right team, and they're not patient, and they just don't give them the opportunity, the bats that they need. They just want results like that.
Yeah.
Luckily, the Fighters they're one of the better teams that are more patient with the foreigners, and the manager over there, man, he's awesome. Played me every day. He's like, I believe in you. I believe in you. I believe in you. He would always ask how I'm off the field, how my family's doing, and I mean, I feel like the reason I'm still in Japan, one of the main reasons I'm still in Japan is, because of him. Any other team, I would have been shipped out or in the minors,
Yeah.
So.
No, that's awesome to go through that adjustment, have a success that you've had, and to run into a manager that gave you the opportunity to see that there is adjustment in baseball and life, to be there, to stay by your side is,
Absolutely.
those are few and far between. As
Yeah.
we all know, you don't run into people like that very often.
No, they want you to get off the plane and just hit homers,
Yeah.
There's a lot more that goes into it, man. I mean, I
Yeah.
speak the language. Like, I don't know if I'm like the food.
Yeah.
It's not just baseball, but I mean, like I
The
said,
whole lifestyle. Yeah.
and I feel like, and now giving advice to all the foreigners coming over, they always ask like, how is it? I'm just like, dude, embrace it, go out, learn the culture, respect. It's an awesome culture, beautiful country. And I feel like when you do that, like you enjoy it more, and you just, like I said, you settle in a lot easier.
Breathe a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
that's awesome.
The backstory behind for everyone of the Sushi Boys celebration is every time Brandon goes yard. I didn't know it was when you rounded third. I thought it was across the plate, but you.
Oh no, this is around third, but like the new one is like at the dugout.
What maybe a sneak peek. What is you don't have to show all the bells and whistles, but what is the new celebration? Let's if we could see it.
So I go there, like I reel it in, and then I slice it up sashimi. I put it on the rice, and then I give it to my teammate Miki, and he eats it.
And he eats it.
Hilarious.
So that's happening
awesome.
as you cross home plate, or like when are you starting the celebration?
No, like
you
I hit home plate, and then you give high fives at like the whole dugout, and at the end I do it.
Okay.
Always the same guy?
Yeah. And
he's always
he
hungry.
gets like set down or something,
Well, hopefully he's hungry, man.
He got down. I was looking for him, and then I just ate it.
You gave him.
I was gonna say that fool put on some weight.
Yeah.
He probably eaten a bunch.
There's a couple times where he would do it, and he's like, "Oh, fool."
Oh, that's awesome.
Do you guys know about the home run that he hit? What beer sign was it that you hit?
Oh, the Kieran.
Have you guys ever seen this one?
No.
I did. My dad was talking about it the other day because I told him he was coming on.
2016, that was, yeah.
Yeah, tell him about that one.
In Tokyo Dome, if you ever seen like a video of Tokyo Dome, there's like these big signs like 7-Eleven, there's Kieran beer, and whatever.
Yeah.
If you didn't know at the time, if you hit one in a live game, you get like whatever that sponsor like offers you and money. So I hit the Kieran beer sign in the game, and after the game, they're like, "Dude, you won 10 grand cash and free beer for a year." I'm like, what? Like literally, like the next day, like I woke up literally to like 150 text messages. It was like, beers on you, dude. You're just on SportsCenter top 10.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
That
god.
was sick.
I had to do like this, like they came, the Kieran like CEO and everything came to the Hokkaido and did like this press conference, and they wheeled in like this big old
crate of beer.
Yeah, like it was probably like 50, 60.
Someone fanning you, like, oh my god.
I was gonna say, so they lived up to the bargain.
I just started handing it out to everybody.
That's awesome.
It's been cool over here, man. I didn't think I'd be here, 6 years, going on 6 years and 7 years, but
no, well, you've had great success, and I wish you all the continued success. You know what I mean? You've done a great job, and just keep doing it. I love watching you keep playing, and like I said, keep doing your thing.
No, I appreciate it, man. Like Adam Jones, he's over here now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Have you
made like $100 million?
I know.
Lifetime All-Star, and he's still here, man.
Yeah.
I talk to him sometimes on Instagram.
Yeah, he got a good contract over there. You got to keep playing and getting paid like that.
had to? Yeah.
Honestly, I thought he was going to come over here, like, and all this whole thing going on. Like, he's like, I thought he was going to be like, I'm going home. Like,
Yeah.
I've been talking to him. He's like, hey, no, I'm staying here.
So
Yeah.
you have connected with him?
Yeah, we played them in practice games, about a couple months back, and we talked a little bit. And then in the offseason, when he signed over here, I reached out to him and said, hey, like, I've been there, 6 years. So you need any, like, information, like what to bring, like, what you can't get over here, let me know. And I was just telling him all stuff like that, like bring, like, deodorant and, like, the NyQuil, DayQuil. You can't get all that stuff here.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
What a trip. Yeah.
Yeah, there's certain things that you can't get. Like, we have a Costco here. But, that's pretty much like at home, but it's a little different. But like other, like deodorant, you can't get. It's all spray. Just
Ugh.
we brought a suitcase.
weird.
Living that axe life.
Suitcase this year full of like menudo and we brought all El Pato.
That is awesome.
Ladies like, what the hell's in here? You're like, dude, and it all got here.
He brought his gallon bottle of Tapatio with us.
Yeah, dude, literally, I'm not even joking. My parents and my grandparents came out last year, and my parents literally brought me like 16 bottles of Tapatio. I'm like, yeah, I didn't need this. I'm like, I feel like I was sponsored by Tapatio.
That's
awesome.
Like, there's certain things you got that you miss and you got to have. So
Yeah, I hear you.
Well,
I
shoot,
hear
dude,
ya.
before we let you go, what's upcoming for you? What you got going on right now? You guys, you're back at camp
we're gonna
tomorrow?
stand still, man. We got, like I said, we got our first team practice tomorrow, 9 a.m. They're saying that we're gonna start June 19th, but I mean, I don't know. I don't see it happening because the state of emergency goes through the 31st, and then we're supposed to just be ready for a game season in 19
2
days.
weeks later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen live pitching in
You're robots. Come
2
on.
months. But honestly, nothing surprises me here. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but our manager's he's really cool. He played in the States, the White Sox, Iguchi,
Oh, yeah.
second
Oh,
baseman.
Second baseman.
Taguchi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Iguchi.
Is he? He's
Yeah.
the one. Is he the guy that made the play like upside down?
Yeah, for the no hitter.
So sick. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my man.
Right.
Yeah.
He's
Man, that's
awesome.
cool.
He gets it, dude. Like, I'll go to the field. He's like, hey, you're DHing today. Like, I want your legs fresh, or like practice. He'll be like, hey, you don't need to practice today. Go home. He's pretty chill.
That's
And
awesome.
this is
awesome.
and what
Yeah.
team is that again? The Chiba.
Chiba Lotte Marines. So I've been fortunate to be played for two pretty, really good managers here. They
Yeah.
kind of like understand it,
Yeah.
And that's a wild time. You just signed in January with them, right? So you're almost.
Yeah. Last year was my first year here. I didn't have a job. So I thought I was done then too.
Yeah. Wow.
Really?
Keeps the train going.
I was gonna go. I mean, Korea was interested, but I was like, I'm not going to Korea. Dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
After all this exposure, I was like, I feel like I should have a job in Japan, but everything happens, and I signed and had a good year, and now I'm.
Would you go to Korea if say in a year or whatever?
Honestly, I probably wouldn't have went. I was just gonna wait it out. Like I was just gonna sit at home and see if a team in Japan, because they could sign guys like up to July.
Yeah.
And my name, it's pretty known here. I was like, maybe
Right.
some want me down mid-season, and I finally kind of put my pride down. I was just like, coming off like a pretty good salary and taking like a big pay cut. I was kind of upset.
Yeah.
And
Right.
my wife was like, hey, like, it's still a job, still good money.
Yep.
You're comfortable there. You know the lifestyle.
There. I just had to have the season, man. I was pretty much just last year. I came with a different mindset. I was on a mission. I had to like have a good season, and everything worked out. So
Good, man. That's
So
awesome.
cool. Well, we
Happy
wish you
for
nothing
ya.
but success.
Absolutely.
Good luck with whatever tomorrow brings for you, man. But we're looking forward to following along with you when the season does get going. But again, 16 hours all the way from Japan. Thank you so much, Brandon.
Yeah,
We
no
appreciate
problem.
it.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Brandon.
it.
no problem, guys.
So we hear the final end there of the interview with Brandon Laird talking about his experience making the move, not just the easy casual move, but all the way to Japan, playing international. But boy, he's sure made a career out of it. I'm not sure, maybe something stood out for you guys. That is a heck of a change to go over there, not just playing wise and things like that, but just like we've said over and over, just a complete lifestyle change, getting used to the different environment and setting, things like that. Maybe you guys want to touch on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, just hearing his whole story is a very cool and depiction of going from the major leagues and the U.S. style baseball, going across the big ocean over into whole nother country. And for me, just somebody that we three, Danny, you knew him a lot better than we did, but somebody we knew growing up, and getting over there and being successful and seeing and hearing that story, it's really cool. You hear a lot of stories of there are players coming over here. There's, you know, a handful of great guys that have done it. And to hear somebody from the US going across and then that person being somebody that we knew and know, I think that's really awesome.
That much more kind of relatable for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And for me to listen to him and having gone through it in the United States, but you know, you go to another country where you're making lifestyle changes, you're making adjustments in the league, not knowing how they pitch, not knowing exactly what their style is. You know, telling us that, you know, if the 3-hole hitter comes up to bat and the guy hits a double, you're bunting him over. Like,
what?
You know, it doesn't happen in the United States. And
yeah,
he got off to a slow start. He was telling us, hit a bunch of home runs, but he was hitting 150 at the All-Star break. And he said it, and I'll repeat it, that he was very fortunate to have a manager that stuck by his side, pulled him off to the side and said, hey, we're going to stick with you. You're our guy. We trust you. We know you can hit. Calm down. Do your thing. You know, second half, he comes out, ends up leading the league in home runs and ends up hitting 230 or 240. But at All-Star break, when you're hitting 150, 160 to end up at 230, 240, I mean, that's
raking.
A huge second half. So to hear him talk about the struggles that he had, the adjustments he had to make, and to give his coach credit for sticking by his side, it's an awesome story. You don't hear that too often.
And Danny, I'm sure you've dealt with your handful of coaches. So for you to appreciate that, I mean, no more than others, I imagine, because
because you don't always get someone. You know, I've played for managers that are great about that Danny is, you know, keep going, blah blah blah. They're right, you know, they're by my side. I've been fortunate. I've had 2 or 3 managers that have done that, but I also played for a manager that was completely the opposite way. You know, if you went 2 for 3, maybe you played the next day. Didn't matter. But I know if you didn't get a hit, you weren't playing. You know what I mean? So to hear that he had a manager that was like, dude, you're going to be fine. Just keep doing your thing. We're by your side. That's awesome. I love to hear that. That's how you have to give guys an opportunity to grow in baseball in the sport. You can't look at a small sample size back. Nope, that's not our guy. You got to look at this guy and say, we're going to give him an opportunity. And he's fortunate that he did, because he's now turned that opportunity into a great career in Japan.
Yeah, I was just going to say, sometimes it's something that small that can really turn around a career, especially when you have all that weight on your back. I mean, talk about the money. He signed a huge contract. People recognize him. He's, you know what I mean? He's no longer a little fish in a big pond. I mean, he is the big fish if you go over there, you know?
Right.
So I think, yeah, just for him to be able to, you know, shake all that off and come back from it and shoot 6 years now or whatever over there, that's saying something. That's a very respected league, and it's pretty cool. I think it's also cool he's embraced the culture, you know, sushi boy. You hear about his home run celebration, cool. And really cool that he showed us and just to tell us the story behind that, you know what I mean? And his lucky sushi dinner, and then sure enough goes yard the next day. Like, of course you got to make a celebration. So I thought all that was cool. It basically, I think it was neat to kind of see his personality and him. Just, you can see why he just stays right here. It doesn't look like he gets too emotional, doesn't get too down or up. And so far it's worked for him over there, which is pretty cool to see. But that was our first interview. And gee, like you said at the beginning, he kind of unfortunately set the bar pretty high, but I tell you what, you guys, you'll be excited for our next couple of guests that we have lined up. It should be a heck of a time upcoming. We're excited about it here at Connected by Seams. I know myself, you guys, it should be pretty cool. There'll be some fun stuff coming soon. But shoot, guys, we did it. Episode 1 is in the books.
It's the hardest one. Glad it went well.
We're out of the way.
We
looking forward to keeping it rolling.
Seam.
Yeah,
broke the seam and we're going for it. I like it. I'm excited.
Looking forward to it. Hope you guys are as well. Again, we're Connected by Seams. Hope you enjoyed episode 1. Again, can't thank Brandon Laird enough, playing professional baseball in Japan, for joining us. But again, for Danny Espinoza, Garrett Smith, I am Seth Smith. That was episode 1 of Connected by Seams. Stay tuned. We'll have more episodes coming very soon. Thank you.